Hello everybody, I am Creeper, and today we're talking about Doctor Who Series 12. We've got some very, very exciting news here. I practically cannot contain myself. We've got some very exciting news about another returning monster this year. And it's not just rumours, it's not just speculation. This is practically confirmed at this point. Not officially by the BBC, we haven't got an official promo photo, but by the looks of filming photos, it looks like not only are we getting the Cybermen, we're getting a new version of the Cybermen. That's exciting. Especially for someone like me who really doesn't like the new 2013 Cyberman look. Anyway, bit of history. So last Thursday I uploaded a video, everything we know about Series 12 so far, cheeky plug. If you want to check that video out, it is really, really informative, and I like to think so. I feel like I've compiled everything we currently do know about Series 12, whether it be confirmed or very likely, and then there's a few rumours thrown in there to kind of bulk up the video a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting to watch and speculate about. A lot of people seem to really enjoy that, and I'm really, really glad, because that video took a hell of a lot of effort, a hell of a lot of time to put together, and I'm glad it kind of paid off with a lot of people. I uploaded that video on Thursday, and then later on Thursday, Cybermen filming at Nash Point in Wales. Great. So I just missed out on a massive returning monster for Series 12 by a matter of hours. You know, if that was the day before, I could have added that into the video, or could have talked about it. But anyway, here we are. The week later, on the Monday, I give it a little bit of time, let it distill, and I'm glad I waited before making this video, because there's been another photo on Sunday, which has literally just come out, and it actually does confirm the Cybermen, so I think, anyway. So let's have a look at some of the filming photos from Nash Point and kind of work out what we can do. And we're going to go in chronological order from sort of what came out first from Nash Point to what came out most recently on Sunday. So some of the first filming photos guaranteed sort of a time zone. So we've got some medieval looking torches planted in the ground here. Nash Point is a lovely place in South Wales, cliffside, coastline, very rocky kind of coast. Very nice looking place though. Behind the scenes tents and kind of the behind the scenes stuff is kind of built into what looks like a sort of time period-esque feel. So maybe if the production equipment is accidentally caught in the background of a shot, it doesn't look too out of place, even though they should be beyond that in terms of professionality. It's nice to see they're keeping with the aesthetic theme of the filming, so that's quite interesting. Unless that's actually part of the episode, in which case that is totally different and I'm totally wrong with that. So that technology could actually be something a little bit different, so maybe it's a cross paths between different time zones and all that sort of thing. I'm not going to make too many theories, but here is some electrical equipment in what looks to be medieval times. There's a guy dressed as a wizard. Yay, very interesting. I know you clicked on this video for Cybermen, but here is a wizard. It's a man with a grey beard and grey hair, and he has a big stick as well, so that's very exciting indeed. If you're not excited by that, you're a fake fan. I'm joking. That is great, well done. A wizard in the next series, standing next to the production equipment that I saw before. Maybe it's part of the episode, or maybe it's make-believe. So then we got another photo from a fan who was at the sort of filming from a distance, from a very far distance. I've got to zoom in and enhance this image. We got this image here, which shows medieval tents, a trailer, filming equipment, cameras, all that sort of thing, and then 6 men or women dressed up in silver armour by the looks of it, lined up in twos. These instantly sparked conversation online because, of course, famous Silvermen in Doctor Who, Cybermen, lining up in packs and stomping around. That's Cybermen, especially the new Who ones. So people instantly started speculating, and then there were a few people who disagreed fairly, which is total fair to disagree, because it's been a while since we've had a historical Cyberman story, and also, yeah, there's tents, medieval. These could very easily be knights in shining armour, and I totally get that. That's absolutely 100% fair. We look at another photo, which is obviously after finished shooting, and it looks as if the actors have taken their helmets off and are walking about. You can see black bits underneath the silver armour, so again, suggested to me a very 2006-esque looking Cybermen kind of feel. That's how the kind of feel I got from it. And then a very, 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 very good fan, who I am very, very fond of now, because he managed to snap a photo of the guys dressed in Cyberman garments as they were walking past, and it practically guarantees it, because I don't know many Knights of Shining Armour with a laser blaster built into the arm. Let's talk about this, because this is not just a Cyberman, but this is a new Cyberman, a new type of Cyberman, a new kind of version, if you will. Thank God, because again, I've mentioned before, I can't stand the 2013 Cybermen. I don't mind the 2006 ones because I kind of grew up with them, but the 2013 ones just felt like, I mean, they were Iron Man, weren't they? You know, sort of light in the middle of the chest, face pattern, they could fly, they could shoot lasers out their arms. It was just a bit like, it was a bit much for me personally, and it came about the right time of, you know, Marvel being like one of the biggest brands on Earth. It makes total sense. But here it seems a little bit different. Now I know, and I've looked at both Cyberman designs of 2006 and 2013 in a lot of detail, trying to compare the sort of three of these. This very limited shot we have here, because obviously the actors have got towels over their back to kind of cover up most of the armour. So the limited stuff we got to see here, alongside some of the 2013 Cybermen, 2006 Cybermen, and I found one striking difference, as I mentioned before, the arm gun. So the arm gun from the 2006 Cybermen was built onto a sort of, the Cybermen in 2006 had very smooth metal kind of parts built onto them. They had sort of a pipe, tubular type object which acted as a gun. It was very pristine, very sleek, very new, and was a tiny tube built onto the side of the arm. I shouldn't have to explain it. If you're a Doctor Who fan, if you've watched those stories, you'll know what I mean. The 2013 Cybermen, however, had a big sort of gun on the side of their arm, like a big kind of... It was a bit too big, really. I didn't really notice in the episode, but if you look at some of the promo images, it looks enormous. But it probably sticks out from the arm. It's sci-fi, futuristic, but the arm is still kind of circular and still kind of smooth with this massive gun built on top. This looks totally different. This looks like much smaller than the Nightmare in Silver gun variant that we saw on the newer Cybermen, but it also isn't tubular and kind of smooth and like a pipe like the 2006 Cybermen were. Which instantly says to me, well, it could be a Cyberman with a new arm piece, with a new gun. Yep, totally could be. But then we look at the other parts, because that's definitely not the 2013 Cybermen, because the 2013 Cybermen were kind of silver from head to toe. They didn't have any other bits. Whereas these Cybermen, similar to the 2006 ones, have a sort of black, sort of wiry underlay, if you will. The part of the design for the new series Cybermen back in 2006 was to have a sort of black bodysuit underneath and then put the metal bits on top, so it's not just people walking around in full metal outfits like actual knights in shining armour, to actually have a little bit of breathing room as well and feel a little bit more comfortable when walking around as a Cyberman. 2013's had that, but it wasn't really all black, it wasn't really all kind of smooth and stuff underneath, it was very hidden, making the Cybermen in the 2013 era look more like Iron Man, look more like actual robots, whereas the 2006 one still had a little bit of that classic series Mondasian type feel where it is actually somewhat of a converted human. This seems to be sticking to that. But as I've said, with the new gun and arm piece, it just feels totally out of place, which makes me think, yes, brand new Cyberman. Then we look at the bottom of the leg, and we can see there's a sort of weaved pattern on the back of the leg, very interesting there, very different, we haven't seen that on the Cybermen before, nothing too much to talk about, it's a weaved pattern. But then, weirdly enough, there are spikes. There's one spike at the top of the bottom part of the leg, and there's one sort of midway down, sticking out. You might not be able to see it properly, but they're on all of them. So either these are a bit more dangerous type Cybermen, or these are Cybermen that are trying to fit in with the medieval tone. Maybe Cybermen that have used actual pieces of knights' armour to rebuild themselves, perhaps. Could be interesting. Fits in with Chibnall's theme with Resolution, a Dalek rebuilding itself, you know? Maybe it's similar with the Cybermen. Maybe they're, you know, maybe they crashed a long time ago and they're just putting bits together that they can find, using bits of metal, clamping it together. It would explain the sort of weaved look on the back of the leg, as almost if two bits of metal have been sort of fused together. Either way, it looks quite interesting, and they still have future technology. They've still got a laser gun, so don't worry, they're not going all medieval. But I like the spikes as a little addition to sort of suggest maybe something a little bit different about this specific Cyberman design. Anyway, we then got a very exciting photo yesterday, which shows the new Cybermen, again in the same formation as before, but as you can see, they are definitely Cybermen. There is no denying that. Absolutely, look at them. The handles on the side of the head, yeah, and they are a totally new design, as you can see. Going from the leg upwards, which we'll talk about, again they'll probably have the spikes that we talked about before, but then the arm looks like it has a sort of protruding part which goes past the elbow of the actor, similar to that of the 2006 design. But then, unlike the 2006 design, they have massive shoulder pads, like big metal shoulder pads. The 2013 ones had sort of these shoulder pad type designs, whereas the 2006 ones just had parts that go up the side and kind of stick over the top a little bit, kind of extended bits of just hunks of metal, whereas this one looks a little bit more refined, maybe again a little bit more like an actual sort of medieval suit of armour. The chest looks a bit different, and you can tell there's a different kind of design on there, but I can't tell exactly what it is. The image is way too low quality for that. But I'm presuming it could be anything from an actual sort of breathing apparatus, a sort of heart monitor thing, because you know, obviously the Mondasian Cybermen had like a big glass chamber. Classic Cybermen had those on occasion, like a big sort of chamber on the front, so maybe we'll be getting that back. Or maybe it's just the sort of grooved sort of effects from the 2013 Cybermen, because they had a sort of chest-built imprint type thing that we saw over the last few years. And then moving on to the head, my favourite bit. Now you may not be able to tell from that image, but what hits me straight away is that they look like the Cybermen from the classic series. Obviously it's a new design, but I think it's taking inspiration from the classic series. It looks like it's using the Invasion head sculpt design as a sort of premise to go off. Because you haven't got the smooth Cyberman heads, you can see, and you might not be able to see too clearly, I'm trying to, this is the best quality image I've got, but here's what I can kind of see. I can kind of see the sort of earmuff style protruding out of the head, like the two big blocks on the side of the Cyberman's head, similar to like Earthshock, similar to like the Invasion for example, where they've got big sort of chunks on the side of the head, and then the sort of handles come up from that. It's also noting as well that instead of having a sort of just straight up handle, it has actually got the ball, sort of ball piece pressed onto what seems to be the side of the head. That's what I can kind of see anyway, which goes into the handle, similar to that of the Mondasian Cybermen from last series again, and the originals as well, that have a ball piece that look more like normal headphones than anything. So this one's got the big side pieces, and it's also got the sort of headphone look. I love this. I really love this. This actually looks great. Now, we haven't got a high-res image, obviously, so I kind of put together a mock image. This is just my crappy Photoshop skills, putting something together just so we could have something on the screen to talk about it in a little bit more detail. Yeah, here it is. It's a modernised version with a few different tweaks. It uses the 2013 Cyberman face, the Invasion earpieces with the Mondasian head sculpt, and I included a little Mondasian light at the top as well because I kind of fancied them bringing that back. The chest piece is just from Nightmare and Silver, their sort of modern Cyberman design, with a sort of yellow chest piece. I've used some of the wires and the sort of tubes from the Mondasian Cybermen because I thought that would be quite cool to bring back. The arms are Cybus era 2006 Cybermen, the big sort of metal ones that I showed you. The gun is a miniaturized version of the 2013 one, and the shoulder pads are also from the 2013 Cyberman, just a little bit enlarged. And I've also added a few more black bits underneath the armour to kind of give it that more natural looking feel as we've seen in the set photos. This is by no means accurate at all. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it ever will be. I'm just saying this is kind of what I can kind of see in that image. Maybe a bit shinier than this, but maybe this is the kind of thing they're going for. Now, my initial reaction, I know it probably is yours as well, that's a bit of a mess. That's a bit of a mess of like loads of different Cybermen put together, but you know what? I kind of like it. I love the idea of going back to a more classic design. I am sick to death of the Cyberman getting modernised and modernised and modernised to the point where they're just robots. Travelling the speed of light, shooting lasers, flying. I want boots on the ground Cybermen. I want classic era Cybermen. Or a new design that's reminiscent of the classic series, and that is exactly what I've got here. This is exactly what I can kind of see on screen here. Now obviously this is the mock-up of what I've done based off the filming photos. Look at the filming photos, they're the official ones, but that's kind of how I can kind of perceive it. There's a sort of chest piece there, a few pipes, but the main attraction, obviously, the Invasion style head on a sort of new Cyberman face, maybe. That's quite interesting as well. So what do I think about this? Well, personally, I love it. I love the idea of a new Cyberman design, and if I was to design a new Cyberman design, it would be in keeping more with this style of Cyberman. A very classic looking Cyberman, devolving the current Iron Man ones, and giving it purpose, giving it a reason to exist, because the Cybermen wouldn't naturally devolve as characters. They would always continue to evolve and make themselves better, so it would make sense for them all to have the lovely 2013 flying Iron Man version. But in terms of aesthetics and looks for the series, I think the original classic ones will always end up looking better. So as long as it gives purpose to sort of pull back the Cybermen a little bit, devolve them in terms of technology, and give them this sort of older, classic looking design in keeping with a sort of medieval theme, I'm totally down with that, as long as they do it right. A lot of people saying, Chibnall wrote Cyberwoman and he ruined that, and I didn't like Resolution and he ruined that as well. Well, we don't know who this is written by this episode. This could be written by anyone. It could be written by Chibnall. We don't know that yet though, so don't assume, because that makes an ass out of you and me. Also, the episode isn't out yet. Don't sort of predict which episode is going to be good and which episode is going to be bad just because of what you know about it so far. All we've seen is the photos that I've shown in this video. That is nowhere near enough information or content to be able to judge the writing or the story of the episode itself. Don't, because that's just stupid. Don't be an idiot. It obviously won't be anything like World Enough in Time. World Enough in Time is a fantastic Doctor Who story, and honestly, I don't see how any Cyberman story could top that anytime soon. World Enough in Time is fantastic, in keeping with the original mythos of the Cybermen, whilst trying to do something new and refreshing with the concept. Probably one of the better episodes in the whole of New Who. It's going to be tough to top that, and it's going to be tough with this being the next Cyberman story. But I'm not going to compare it to World Enough in Time. I'm going to compare it to, like, Closing Time. I'm going to compare it to The Next Doctor. I'm going to compare it to Doomsday. The more standard Cyberman episodes. And kind of compare how it explores the concepts, how it fits in with the original designs, and how it fits in with the original themes and mythos of the sort of monsters of the Cybermen. Obviously, we've talked about the Mary Shelley rumours as well before. This could be true, this could not be true. I've always suggested that if this is episode 9, episode 8 could still be the Mary Shelley episode, and the Cybermen escape at the end and appear in a different time zone for the following episode as a two-parter. But it's looking unlikely at this point that the Mirror's requested sort of rumour about Mary Shelley Cyberman story inspired by the Big Finish story The Silver Turk isn't really going to happen. This doesn't look like that era, and it doesn't feel like the kind of story that was being described in said rumour. But again, it is total rumour, and this is just me looking at what I've got on set. I could be totally wrong. Either way, that's pretty much that from me. It could be episode 9, it could be episode 10, but it's looking towards the end of the series. I'm not going to say how I feel too much about the idea of another Cyberman finale. It's not ideal, but to be honest with you, after series 11, I'm just happy to see an old returning monster again. And the Cybermen, although have been in Who recently and had a very big presence in recent years, especially Capaldi's era, I'm still very much looking forward to seeing them on screen. That's going to be very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. But that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe with notifications on if you haven't already. There is a Patreon page if you want to support the channel, and a Discord server if you want to join the conversation about Doctor Who and all the latest updates and filming news and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, that's pretty much it from me. I will see you all next time. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.